Welcome to the bold analysis. William Samoei Ruto, as a matter of urgency, must dismantle the sphere of power that is trying to usurp the autonomy of cabinet secretaries. This is coming from behind the scene intrigues, revelations from the cabinet members who are coming out and crying that they are no longer active in Kenya Kwanza administration. Today I grabbed Nation and the two Nation newspapers. I grabbed the Taifa in the Nation, and take this Nation on page 7. This article is there. Powerful insiders take control of these ministries. In simple terms, what the Nation is calling insiders, according to me, are just brokers, or in other words, cartels pursuing their own interests. And in here, ni waziri majina too, to show that they're just ministers by names. But before we get deep into this, I want to give the flip side from Mtaani.
It's a practical example, Chief Justice. One candidate in a constituency in Nairobi moved around on a Sunday morning to every restaurant in that constituency. And everyone he found in that restaurant on that day, they give them 200 shillings, others 500. To every butchery, they find you queuing to get a kilo of meat, they give you 200, and so on. That can't be their own money, obviously, as it were. And if you followed the guy and you tracked their record, you discover they're one of the people that Kinoti is actually following up. But until Kinoti gathers enough information, some of the information we have is from intelligence. And my judge friends who are in the room tell me intelligence is not evidence. You see, so the question is, and then you are faced with this thing of you are using evidence you have acquired from illegal sources. So I don't know how we will win, because you see, we have intelligence, this is what is happening. We have intelligence, this is the kind of guy we are dealing with. I turn up at, before my friend judge, he says this is evidence obtained from illegal sources. And then there's nothing I can do. This fellow continues to bribe people around. And as I said, honestly speaking, and I'm saying this as a responsible public servant, if we are not careful, it is going to become very, very difficult to manage, especially elective institutions in this country. So the question is, how are we going to manage the governance of the country as we move forward? Because this campaign finance law, you will take it to Parliament. Who's going to amend it? The same wash-wash guys who have arrived there. And then so on. Note that wash-wash culture is what actually got them into Parliament in the first place. It's a debate. We just need to find out what to do. But the truth of the matter is that we notice these things, we see these things, and you're the ones who keep telling us all the time, intelligence is not evidence. Okay, or it's evidence obtained through illegal means. So there we are. So I think if we came together and looked for mechanisms, maybe a long distance review and regulatory framework for campaign financing might save this country.
Back to our politics. This article that was done by my friend Roslyn Obala details what exactly is happening in Kenya Kwanza. And what is so saddening is that it's happening in full glare of William Ruto's vision. He's actually seeing in his sight. So what is going on? Do you remember the day there was a gazette notice that was sneaked on, some hike? Apparently, Kithure Kindiki, because the services, the hiking of the fees for the IDs, getting new IDs and replacement of the IDs, that was meant to create, or rather not to create, but that was meant to tell, that was passed to the gazette notice without the input of Kithure Kindiki. And Kithure Kindiki said, I don't know about it. In the same Gazette notice, there was also another clause that was put there that if you are staying outside, abroad, and you give birth, two Kenyans give birth to a child abroad, there was some levy that was put there for them to register that child as Kenyan, while the law says that two Kenyans giving birth to a child, whether in the country or out of the country, that child gains citizenship by birth. That child is a Kenyan. And this levy, according to Kindiki, is that he didn't know. And before I explain for you why this is thriving, listen to Malala. I got this soundbite from Malala was addressing some press during in UDA. And look at how he was defending these shami dealings within the Statehouse premises.
960 billion. Barabara, madeni peke yake. Na mwana rais amejaribu sana kutembea nchi za ugaibuni kuhakikisha ameleta pesa kwenye county. Mnaona saa zingine propaganda inakuwa mingi kabisa. Kama juzi umeona ile pendekezo ya ministry kupandisha bei ya Ministry of Interior, walipandisha bei ya vitambulisho lakini watu wakachukulia vibaya. Kitambo tulikuwa tunalipa shilingi 150 kujiandikisha kama Mkenya. Na saa hii ministry imesema kwamba tulipe shilingi 300. Hii shilingi 50, hiyo bei iliwekwa miaka 40 zilizopita. So if we were able to pay 50 shillings 40 years ago, katika ile kipande yetu ile ilikuwa ya karatasi, ilikuwa unaikumbuka wale watu ambao walizaliwa kitambo, 50 shillings. Serikali sasa imeona kwamba sasa 40 years later, hii ndio mara ya kwanza tunaongeza baada ya 40 years. Wakati sasa teknolojia imebadilika, kwamba ile ID ambayo tunaenda kupata haiendi kwa ile ID ya kawaida. Inaenda kwa ile ID ambayo iko na microchip. Ile ambayo iko na data yako yote, NHIF iko hapo ndani, kila kitu, bank statement, kila kitu kwa hiyo ID. Ukienda unaonyesha tu ID, wanaangalia vitu yako yote, NSSF, everything iko katika hiyo kadi. Sasa wamesema tutoke kwa shilingi 50 kwa shilingi 300 peke yake. You only get an ID once in a lifetime. Hiyo sio ati kwamba kila siku utakuwa unalipa shilingi 300. So kuna wale watu wataki Kenya isonge mbele. Mumeona wamesema kwamba ati ukipoteza ID yako ukienda kureplace utalipa shilingi 1000. Hiyo pendekezo inamaanisha kwamba kureplace hiyo kadi yenyewe kuundwa, hizi undwe na shilingi 50, itabidi iundwe na hiyo shilingi karibu 500 ama 600 na serikali ipate pesa yake kidogo. Ndiposa tumesema kwamba 1000 kwa wale ambao wamepoteza ID. Na kwa maisha yako haupotezi ID kila siku. Ati kwamba wewe utakuwa unatoa shilingi 1000 kila siku. Kama mimi tangu nizaliwe nimepoteza mara moja ama mara mbili peke yake. Kuna wazee ambao wamefika 70 years watapoteza ID mara 3. So kulipa kwa serikali shilingi 3000 kwa miaka 70. Hiyo ni kitu ya kwanza kusema kwamba rais ni mbaya. Tunataka uzalendo, Wakenya wajitolee uzalendo, waache kufikiria kwamba government imekuja kudhulumu watu. Government is providing costs ambazo zitafanya services zikuwe rahisi kwenyu. Hakuna haja wewe ulipe shilingi 50 wakati unaenda kureplace ID card, serikali kuambie kuja baada ya miezi 7 ama 8 kwa sababu haina pesa kukuundia ID card. So ni information ambayo wananchi wanapewa wrong information.
Clearly, it tells you that this is something that there is a clique of people around it. And you can see Secretary General of the ruling party coming over to defend it. Now, this is what is happening. Under Uhuru Kenyatta, the government printer used to be directly supervised or under the direction of the office of the president. Now, when William Ruto took power, he restructured government and decided to put that office under the head of public service, Felix Kosgei. So apparently that is the office that then prints the gazette notices and all that. And that office is purely around it. So that is number one, that there are some decisions and the cabinet members are complaining. There are some decisions that they just find in media, just like ordinary Kenyans. They just find decisions that have been arrived at in the Gazette notice, especially from public uproar, and they are complaining that it becomes even difficult to defend some of these decisions because you are not in it. You know, you'll understand, and let's say the truth. On this issue of IDs, there have been a lot of contradiction because despite of Kithure Kindiki moving and getting press conferences, he's never come out to defend that hike. If that happened, then the Gazette notice that was done, it was done then later. It was increased, I think, to 300 shillings. So that's number one, that they're not consulted, and especially on that matter. Number two, now there is a culture, or there is a customary cooperation and concurrence that there are state parastatals and boards that fall under ministries. So different ministries have boards. For example, the Kenya Meat Commission falls under the Treasury. The KPA falls under Transport. Now, there have been a lot of push and pull before on management of these parastatal boards. And there is a claim from that article that the ministries are hands off those appointments. What is the common, what is the agreed practice is that there should be concurrence when you are appointing parastatal heads or members of those parastatals. There should be the input of Waziri. Now, these people are saying that there is a clique of people that control everything. They call the shots from all the corridors, and the ministers are not even consulted. So if there is an appointment, they don't get it. Now, I want to give you two examples. One is here. Yes. One is here. In a letter also copied to Agriculture PS Paul Rono and Board Chairman John Nyamok, Mr. Kosgei affirms his concurrence to the appointment of Moses Kiprop Kitum. Moses Kiprop Kitum was appointed, or rather, in a later picture of the state of capture, where ministers must seek concurrence before affecting any appointments. The nation has seen a letter by Mr. Kosgei addressed to Agriculture CS Mithika Linturi, dated November 17th, on concurrence in the recruitment of the managing director for MD for Chemelil Sugar Company. And they're saying that even after all that process, you are told who to pick. So according to them, they are also hands off the parastatals, even though those parastatals fall within their ministries. You need to understand that if there is a place where there is some heavy fat, some good fat, is some of those boards and parastatals. Just think about KPA, some of the, how they get. They collect some very good, there are some that are very lucrative. Now, according to the nation is saying, the CS told the team that there is a powerful PS, principal secretary, Statehouse aide, senator, and very powerful legislators that have the final say on who is to be appointed where, on who is to be sacked. And some cabinet secretaries are even saying that they learn about some sackings, about boards disbanded, the whole board sent packing in a Gazette notice without being consulted. Recently, the Rebecca Miano was actually, I think it was captured by the Nation team, if I'm not wrong, that he had an altercation with Wetangula. Because apparently there was a state appointment that has been that was done, but that was supposed to be set aside for Wetangula's party. But he tried to reach out to Rebecca Miano, and Rebecca Miano was telling him that he should stop calling him because he knows the person that makes the shot. This powerful CS has also formed a WhatsApp group. And this WhatsApp group apparently is where those to be appointed and those to be sacked and to be appointed sits. I know for sure the powerful legislators and senators are masquerading there as people that are protecting William Ruto's tenure, and these parastatal jobs are normally used to award election losers and opposition defectors. So those who defect from opposition, these are some of the meals, some of the few meat that is the small meat that is around, and they're those brokers there that I'm going to talk politician X to leave UDA, or never to leave Azimio to come to UDA, they'll give in this position, this and that. That is there. Now, two things should worry William Samoei Ruto about this revelation. If you read that article, the person that even confided most of these details are those ministers. So one thing should be is that, and I remember, I think there is someone reached out to Cherargei, and Cherargei said that those allegations have not yet been taken to the Senate or the National Assembly, and when they reach there, they will deal with them at that level. But he believes, and Cherargei is saying he believes that these cabinet secretaries should take these claims to the cabinet. And I can't agree anymore. I can't agree anymore with Cherargei. It is true that the cabinet members that feel they're being shortchanged or they're not part of the bigger picture needs to confront William Ruto in the cabinet. But what should worry the president is, why have they opted to confront William Ruto through the media? Because if there is something that William Ruto do not want, and I remember us being reminded at one point, I think that was somewhere we were told that the opposition and media are trying to fish for some scandals here and there, and they're not going to get. So William Ruto has always wanted the secrecy. Even if something is wrong, that is his style, and you will understand that is his style of leadership. He does not want much of that publicity going to the media about what Kenya Kwanza is getting wrong. And he will not want this to happen. But what should worry him here is that these fellows are no longer, I believe that this should be secrets within. But if they're coming out, that means they are also under intense pressure. Now, I want to tell the president for free. What this clearly shows is a center of power. This center of power could have been formed. Maybe it was formed to help the situation. But I challenge president. It's not going to. It's not going to do any better. In fact, it's making it worse. In my own opinion, I want to explain to you why that new center of power is actually killing, shutting down Kenya Kwanza regime in the first term. This is first to blame for the whole mess. This is my reason number one. But kindly before that, subscribe to our channel, click the notification bell and like our videos. Thank you very much for those who support us across the globe. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for sharing insights and more of what is going on now. I want to pose a question, and I think one of our subscribers reached out. If you have that document, you can all help me share. Someone was telling me that there are some proposals that have been made to illegalize the use of manual manure. If you know about it, or that now you must use the subsidized fertilizer for farming. Yeah? If you're privy to that, kindly you can share with me that through my email, and my email is in the description. Now, number one, with this clique of group that has been brought forth, it undermines meritocracy and encourages cronyism. Lack of meritocracy is where you don't appoint because he can do the work, because of because he qualifies. Or rather, meritocracy is the new model of qualifying, not based on your competence, but based on your proximity to power. We have complained over time that some of these parastatals, government parastatals, are supposed to be income generating. And for example, look at KPA, look at Kenya Airways, look at the following giant telecommunications. I still don't believe why it fell, while honestly the need for people to move things around the country, mobility of items and goods, is still on high demand, but it fell. Now, I'm saying the reason why this is one of the causes for the downfall of Kenya Kwanza is because when we appoint people on proximity to power, because he's my cousin, he's my girlfriend, he's my brother's sister, is this and that, these people tend to get to office with a sense of entitlement. And that sense of entitlement also believes that, you know, that we are recycling some people that maybe do not even qualify. For example, someone has defected. Let's say, for example, the former police board, Charles Owino. He's taken to Kenya Mass. Kenya School of Mass, I think Kenya Mass. So, Kenya School of Media, I think I'm not wrong. He served in the police department for better part of his career. He was in the police, then licensing board. Then apparently because he crossed over to Kenya Kwanza, he was taken. What the hell does he know about media? You know, instead of even doing that, you could even rush and take Samboja, who had defected to maybe that lost. And because Samboja was a former journalist, you can even take Samboja and give that position. Makes more sense. So you realize that people are getting into areas that they exactly don't have an idea about. And that is why some of these parastatals will continue falling. Number two, insecurity of tenure creates a culture of grabbing. When someone is in office and he doesn't know whether he will be there tomorrow or the next day, that person is insecure. And that person knows that I am here and I am here to go. So the slightest opportunity to dip his hands in the public coffers, he will not blink. He will not think twice. And that is a conduit of corruption. One of the things why, guys, people steal, especially the government, state officials steal, apart from the loopholes, the available loopholes, people also believe that when I steal, I can navigate my way through the judicial justice system. And because I'm in this office now, I don't know about tomorrow. If I get an opportunity, I will grab to the maximum. And the more state officers dip their hands in the public coffers, the more we are continuing digging the debt hole. We'll continue borrowing because much of the money we are collecting is being stolen. Number three, I don't understand, and the other reason why this is killing Kenya Kwanza is cabinet members, if they lose the autonomy in their ministries, then tell me how they will even order the soldier to open the gate. You have undermined them. You know, if you want to make me powerful, I like sometimes politicians, when you want to make your cabinet powerful, allow them to make those choices. Allow them to bring the dream team. If there is a parastatal that falls under ministry and you want that ministry to thrive, you want them to have the say, let them bring the people they can command. Let them bring the fellows that will understand here is for the job. But in a situation where you are employed from Statehouse and you're deployed in a ministry, but you picked your appointment letter from the gates of Statehouse, tell me, how is this person even going to listen to the rest of other staff? It's a big challenge. And now it's making the cabinet members toothless, headless. They don't have a say. What are you telling me? At the end of the day, you didn't employ me or you have no impact. And this is killing because with also an understanding that decisions are made elsewhere, people are also, shrewd. They're like, what am I going to say? Maybe it's not going to be taken. It has to be proved to Statehouse. Lastly, we are planting seeds of discord. And when we plant seeds of discord in government offices, it's an avenue for political vultures to thrive. This is what I mean. If you are putting some politicians, MPs and senators to be in a prime position to make a decision on who is to be employed or not, politicians are, the political class are very manipulative. And, you are making it believe, number one, they will rush to parliament and we hear a lot of impeachments. If, for example, someone was appointed under the influence of Kamene Chung or Arun Chere, let's just take the leadership of the parliament and that of the Senate, then apparently there is something is not going on right, or is not giving deal as the way it's supposed to be. What are you going to expect? These people, the political vultures, will use that opportunity to punish that person. So I honestly believe that making this sphere of influence, creating this sphere of influence, this space of influence is a big blunder, because it's not going to help achieve the dream team. In fact, it also creates another feeling like, for example, why should you have cabinet meetings to arrive at decisions if just midway here they're just roadside impromptu gazette notices that are being floated without the approval of the cabinet? So it's not going to work well. And if indeed William Ruto believes, and sometimes I understand, you may need to ask, what triggers such impromptu? Is William Ruto working in panic? For example, let's take, for example, those two of abruptly hiking the fees, the ID fees. Maybe they sat down with the cabinet and they realized, oh, we don't have they didn't even sit down with the cabinet and says, we don't have enough money, so we need to collect more. Then we just wake up and say, we are doing this. And it's causing more effect, because the more these decisions are made without the input of the dream team or the cabinet, they're most likely not going to defend them in public. And that is why Ruto is facing a backlash from these decisions. No one is coming out to defend, not even the members of parliament. Ladies and gentlemen, that's my bold. Have a beautiful Sunday as we get to the next podcast. Thank you.